We all know that golf clubs have never been as expensive, but does that mean they have never been as good? In today's video, I have two Titleist drivers, one of which is the brand new all singing, all dancing Titleist TSR3. The other one is almost 20 years old, 17 years old to be precise, so old it could now have its own driving license here in the UK, the Titleist 905R. Now for me, the Titleist 905R stood head and shoulders above the rest back in 2006 as the best driver at the time, but how does it now stack up to its 17-year-old older brother? Guys, in today's video, we're going to test these drivers both in here on the GolfZone simulator and out here on the beautiful golf course. Yes, guys, that's right. I picked up this Titleist 905R from our friends at Golf Clubs for Cash for just $54.99. Guys, if you want to check out what stock they have in, make sure you do. You could find some absolute bargains both in store and on the website. Right, I'm going to hit a few down this fairway with the 905R. Then we're going to see if we do see a huge difference with, let's face it, the 10 times more expensive Titleist TSR3. Guys, get in the comments below which one looks the best, which one would you have given the budget, and what would you do with the extra money if you decided to go for the 905R. This brings back so many memories. I practiced for hours and hours and hours with this club and also put it into play quite a lot. It's a pretty good start. It's a bit of a high fade. It's going to be in the fairway. I don't mind the line that it's on. That's not the longest of shots, so I dare say the TSR3, even on a miss hit, would get past that. And this is what's interesting to me. This is why I want to do this test both out here on the golf course and in the GolfZone simulator, because I want to see just what they're like on miss hits on bad shots. We all know this driver will probably perform if we get it out the middle, but what about out the toe? What about out the heel? What about if I cut across it just a little bit much, like I did on that last shot? Right, let's go again. See if I can play a bit of a draw around the corner this time. Shape it a touch differently, because I do certainly feel like these drivers were easier to shape back in the day. The new drivers are a little bit more forgiving, so you see a little bit less dispersion, but if you want to really move one, then this could be the answer. Stay there. The wind must be off left, but that's held its line nicely. That's going to be an interesting one to beat. That is down there right hand side of the fairway, just running into the rough. It is time to see if 17 years and the best part of $400 can help us here. Now for me, one of the big differences you do get with the new range of drivers is, well, let's face it, it's pretty much everything. The TSR3 comes complete with an adjustable hosel, so you can adjust the loft, you can adjust the face angle, you can also adjust the weighting on this back track here, so you can pretty much adjust everything on this driver, whereas the old school 905R, well, I guess you could change the grip if you took it to the pro shop, maybe? Speaking of grips, this thing probably is in need of changing, but what about the Aldila NV shaft? This is the shaft of folklore. And that's worth thinking about, because shafts have obviously come on in leaps and bounds as well. This is a Hazardous 6.0 shaft by Project X. I feel like I can send this more over the corner. Like that. See, that started left, that's fading back. Just a little bit more of a tiger line. I've tried to hit the same shot there, but it's just kind of started a little bit better. Also, did anyone notice that difference in sound? Oh yeah. Right, same again. I don't think there's going to be too much in here. We haven't really struck one properly out the middle yet. Okay, that was good. That was good, and that's fading back nicely. You can see what I mean about slightly different shots. I can see that is running to the left-hand side of the fair. I'm going to hit one more with the... Let's go one more with the old boy, just for old time's sake, because if I can get it on that line, then Lord knows what could happen. I really want to see what can happen if we just put a really good swing on this. Could you save yourself some money, have some lessons, pick up some speed, be a better golfer, and hit the same drives? That's still just a bit more spinny. It's a perfect line, but it's... You can just see how it's spun up a bit. Very consistent, I must say. Very consistent. And now, I don't know how important this would be to the everyday golfer, but head cover game, what do we think? So this is the old school 905R head cover. It used to be silver and black, I'm pretty sure it did. Now it's just kind of a little bit of an off brown, but this is the Titleist TSR head cover with no sock, just a boxing glove and no protection for the shaft. So This shaft is a year old, maybe 9 months old. This shaft is 17 years old and it looks like brand new. You know why? Because they used to put these socks on them and used to be able to keep this club forever and ever and ever. This in 17 years will probably be obsolete. Just saying, there's a point, it's a point. And out of interest, guys, I'd love to know, how much are you spending on your golf clubs at the moment? Are you putting that money away to buy the latest and greatest, or are you buying something a little bit more budget, a little bit older, that can still get you around, you can still enjoy it? I always used to think there is nothing worse than stepping on the first tee in some kind of match, be it a scratch match, be it a rabbits match, be it any kind of interclub match, and you've got the guy with a pencil bag, a 15-year-old driver, and just really didn't care. Because he's a guy who's got nothing to lose, and normally wins. Guys, if you haven't seen already, my friends at Golf Clubs for Cash are giving away a £500 voucher to be spent online or in store. Make sure you go and check out my video with Michael Block's Golf Clubs. I will link it in the description below. Just subscribe to this channel, go and like that video, and stay tuned to see if you win. Now, unfortunately, we do seem to have a clear fairway here, so I seem to have not been able to hit it at all today. Let's see where these are. So I said the 905R was consistent. We have one in the rough on this side. There is another one in the rough just up here. This was a slightly better one, and then the third one I think was better still. Sorry about the shadows, but it's an awful day for filming, and that is further up still in the rough. So all three of them in this right hand rough from off the tee. Not a bad distance. The new driver, we have one up on the left hand side. This is a good 10 or 15 yards past the others, but it is actually further up on the left side, a better line. I'm presuming the other one has come maybe up even in this ditch, because I saw it bounce a few times. Yes, we are in the ditch. I mean, that's where realistically it's just not driver on this hole, is it? But fair test to fair test. Let's move on. Now, you see, it's holes like this that make this test even more interesting. It is all good and well hitting shots on a simulator or on a hole, wait for it, that sort of gets in the way, where there's no real danger. You see here, we've got about 280 yards over a corner, out of bounds, into the wind, and if we don't quite catch it, we're going to lose a ball, and we're also going to lose shots on our score. So we'll kick things off with the 905R. I'm going to try and play a bit of a low spin one, under the wind but over the trees, and see if we can get anywhere near this green, and ideally not lose the ball. I feel like I have to get this turning over to get any chance. I've turned it over. I love a shout in the backswing there from the old boys. I mean, that's probably how you're going to get the most speed out of this club. Turn it over a little bit, de-loft it. You saw how low that ball came out. That would have been a low spin turner, and I still don't think Barry's found his ball either. That's not ideal. Now we go Titleist TSR3. I feel like with this, spin rates will be a little bit more consistent. That could be down to the shaft actually, but I feel like I can just nut it over the corner. No questions asked really. It's another one that I've turned. It's going to be a better line. They're both safe. That is the key thing there. We've not lost a ball, which is beautiful. But I'm actually really pleased I hit those shots, because they are as comparable as it comes. How much difference does 20 years make? Let's find out here and now. So I think it's fair to say that these two have been pretty consistent. This was the 905R tee shot, and that was the TSR3 tee shot. The only real thing you need to be aware of here is the tee was actually there. So they've gone pretty much exactly the same distance. Yes, the TSR3 has gone straighter. Like I said, it is definitely easier to turn it with the old school driver, but that is mega interesting, isn't it? Right guys, let's jump back in the Golf Zone simulator. Let's hit a couple more shots. Let's see just how these clubs do compare for numbers. Then we're going to jump out here on the 5th hole, and I'm going to nut 2 of them perfectly. And we're going to see just once and for all out on the golf course what the big difference is. So I spent ages in the Golf Zone simulator testing both the Titleist 905R from 17 years ago and of course the Titleist TSR3 fitted in my specs. That's one thing which I think I probably haven't got across as much in this video as I would have liked. Golf club fittings have come on leaps and bounds in the last 17 years. I've have shaft options, I've have adjustability options, and I've have pretty much everything else. The Titleist TSR3 sounds incredible. It sounds way better than the old 905R, which I used to think sounded incredible back in the day. So it just goes to show how much better things can actually get. I found it much easier to hit kind of lower knuckleball style shots, so even on mishits like this one was a little bit heely, still came out pretty low spin, still came out an okay distance at around 275, which I would come to expect. And all in all, there wasn't a huge difference, although there was a little bit of a leap in ball speed, almost 2 miles an hour. The spin rate for me was the be-all and end-all, kind of 450 spin rates per minute different there. That is quite a lot, resulting in around 7-yard difference carry, and as you can see, a little bit more difference in total. Is this enough for you to warrant spending the money, guys? Get in the comments below and let me know. Okay, so mega interesting there, and yes, there was a little bit of a difference in ball speed, mainly a difference in spin rate actually, and a huge difference in head covers. I'm gonna go new driver first this time. Really I'm just gonna try and hit these as hard as I can. So there might be a huge difference here. That's where we see the difference in forgiveness, or there might be a tiny difference because I might not hit this one properly, but nail the 905R. That is a perfect drive up the left side, slightly out the toe, so that's a dippy flight which you do want, and that's going to run forever and ever down this dry fairway. Now, this is where you need to step up for nostalgic reasons and nostalgic reasons alone, Mr. 905R, or for budget reasons, because if this works, people could be saving themselves a small fortune. Come on, same shot. Exactly the same, to the millimetre the same. The winds definitely move that one on actually. That one's in the fairway again, more towards the middle. Really interesting how the wind affects this driver more than the new one. That's got to be down to the spin rate, maybe the launch angle a little bit. Very, very interesting. Now, a lot of you guys may say, well, James, the first driver is a 905R, it's 9.5 degrees. The second one is a TSR3 at 9 degrees. Now, Titleist actually changed using 0.5 degrees a few years ago. They said the technology in these heads does allow the ball to launch a little bit higher, so they can afford to go in the 9.0s instead of the 9.5s. Bet you didn't know that. So we can see two balls in that fairway, and I can see one a little bit further than the other. However, the one on the right hand side, as you can see, is bang smack in the middle of that fairway. This is going to be mega interesting because I really did hit both of these well, and the 905R just drifted off a bit, albeit into the middle of the fairway with the wind. Is there going to be a big difference here? This is the accumulation of this video right here. Guys, if you're still here, smash that subscribe button, get in the comments below, let me know you're still here. Thank you so much for all of the support so far. This is wow. Yes, I know indoor testing is important, and yes, I know that numbers are important, but if we get level with these balls, from the other side so you can see because of the sun, this is the extent. That's the 905R, this is the TSR3, what we're calling it. That's got to be 5 yards, hasn't it? Both of which are leaving me with a nice little chip in to this par 4. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you do smash that subscribe button. Let me know what you think. Would you spend the big bucks to get the new TSR3, or would you go down to my friends at Golf Clubs for cash and get the 905R for just £55? Apart from that, guys, I'll see you all exactly the same time tomorrow. Don't be late, I'll know. Bye.